What's up, mortgage coach community? I did a little softer clap than normal because I am broadcasting live out of Syracuse, New York. I was here for parents' weekend over the weekend, but I decided to stay a couple extra days. There's no one around here, so I'm not blowing up the lobby. I'm the only one here, but just toning it down a little bit. So I am here with Michael Fischer, who's got an amazing Facebook group. I think it's one of the best Facebook groups in the mortgage space. And he has a lot of passion for helping veterans. So we had Rick Bittencourt deliver a micro presentation on the Modern Mortgage Summit last week. It was awesome. And who knows, we might give you guys a little sneak peek of that presentation, even though some of you signed up, some of you didn't. But I know this is something you're super passionate about, Michael. So why don't you tee it up? I know loan officers, most of them want to do more VA loans. So why don't you kind of tee up the topic and let's give them some ideas.
Awesome. Well, Dave, you and I have talked about this in the past. I mean, you try to help loan officers, and a lot of times they raise their hand and they say, I need more transactions. And sometimes that translates into like, I need more marketing or I need a better team or whatever. But ultimately, the loan officer wants more business coming in the door. And we totally understand that. So when you're looking at the VA transaction, and you kind of look at some of the things that are said nationwide between the loan officers and the realtors, it's a little confusing because we hear messages like the VA product is inferior and it doesn't go smoothly and it doesn't close on time. And then you look at the LO groups and you see all these questions. And the more you peel back the layers of the onion, the more you find out, man, these loan officers aren't doing it right. It's maybe not that the VA product is harder. It's that we're putting people on the streets that just don't have the experience because they've never been trained. Their leaders, their company, or just the status quo, which I've heard you say many times, is just not quite there to equip these LOs to handle some of the trickier scenarios that come up that a VA transaction allows them to work through. So in the years that I've been getting passionate about it, I've almost changed my perspective a little bit. We used to think it was just that the realtors didn't want to work with the VA loans. But lately, the more we talk to realtors, the more we find out the realtors really do want to help the veterans and they do want to present those VA offers, but they hear all these stories about transactions not going smoothly. So that brings a couple things to mind. Number one, why are the well-qualified LOs not quote unquote winning the race to the client? And number two, the loan officers that are working with these clients, why are they struggling so much with the VA loan? Well, the answers to those questions can be kind of complex, as you probably imagine, right? And we could spend all day just talking about different ways to train loan officers. But what we've actually decided to do, instead of just putting up a chalkboard and teaching old school style, was create a group of loan officers and come up with a mission. And that's kind of what we did, Dave. We created a group we call the Veteran Lending Council. So it's not just myself, it's a handful of top producing branch manager style loan officers. Most of us do a fair amount of VA. We're not all exclusive VA, a couple of folks are, but ultimately we wanted to do things differently. We wanted to address that question. Why is it so hard to present a VA offer that the seller will accept? Why is there such a lack of education in the real estate and lending and veteran space on this product? What can we do to push the needle forward on all of these different topics? And the more we dive into it, the more we realize it's a multifaceted challenge and a problem with many solutions and answers. Sometimes it's quite simply that the loan officer needs to be better at VA 26-7 guidelines. That's where, we're talking about Rick. Rick annihilates that. He's probably one of the best people I've ever met in the country at teaching that topic to loan officers. Also, on top of that, you've got to add some of the other skills. Like if a LO doesn't have a solid business plan and they don't know how to build their business and they don't know how to market or use video or stay in touch with their past clients, they're not going to touch that many clients anyways, because their message is so small. They might be like the best VA loan officer, but they're in this tiny room doing 1 or 2 loans a month. So it's a multifaceted challenge. We've got to get messages out there. We've got to get education out there, but we got to educate everybody, agents, realtors, loan officers. And we got to do it with facts. I mean, we have to actually look at what does the VA really allow and what are the true demographics of the veteran population. And, does a VA loan really truly take longer to close with a well-qualified buyer and a well-qualified loan officer? Do all those things make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And for anyone listening to this, you're watching it in our Facebook group, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube. I'd like to know a couple of things. First of all, are you doing VA loans? And is that something you're excited about? If you're not doing VA, you're like, I'm not doing VA. Why aren't you doing VA loans? And my guess is it is an educational gap. One of the things that we mentioned as we kicked off the Modern Mortgage Summit is, guys, mortgage professionals, this amazing professional we have, is well positioned to be the most valuable advisor to families. And that means more valuable than a CPA, more valuable than a financial planner, more valuable than a life insurance agent, more valuable than a real estate agent. And that's our mission at Mortgage Coach. We want to help you deliver better advice at the point of sale. We want to help you create social media content so that you're educating the market. And I think the VA segment is awesome because, first of all, they're heroes. These are some of the most important human beings in America, and we need to be educated so that we can support them. So one of the things I'd love to do at this point in the conversation, if you're cool with it, is you mentioned Rick Bittencourt because he was one of the speakers at the Modern Mortgage Summit. He created this little 3-minute micro presentation that actually played at the Modern Mortgage Summit last week. To see this video, you would have had to either pay $100 or $150 to have that. Now, it's not too late. You can still get access to the whole Modern Mortgage Summit. Just go to modernmortgagesummit.com. But let's do this. Let's play this 3-minute video. Let's unpack a few ideas from it. And then I'd love for you to say, okay, guys, here is how you can get the training to do more. And here's a few takeaways that people can just walk away from this call with. Are you cool with that?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. If you don't hear the video in just a second, interrupt me because I'm assuming that you are hearing this. Here we go.
Looks like we got it.
Benefit administrator. I want to talk to everyone out there about what that is when it comes to a VA home loan. Hey, you guys, my name is Rick Betancourt. Honored to have a couple minutes to chat with you. 19 years ago, I got in this business and I quickly identified an insanely underserviced community in the US. And those are our active duty service members and our veterans, our Gold Star families. Listen, we work in one of the greatest professions out there. One of the few professions that actually has the ability to chip away at an unrepayable debt that all of us, all of you, owe our service members. When a service member veteran goes to get a VA home loan, you guys, we're not salespeople, right? It's not about the unit. It's not about transactions. It's not about getting your name on boards or lists. It doesn't mean anything. We are actually benefit administrators helping a hero use an actual benefit that they earned with the service of their country. FHA, USDA, conventional, all that, all great loan programs, but we're working with a benefit. We're changing lives. We're helping hero. We're putting more veterans in more homes. We're helping veterans understand where they can save money in a refinance. And Mortgage Coach is phenomenal, you guys, at helping become insanely transparent, financially transparent with our men and women that are out there actively looking for a home or they're actively looking for a refinance. When I decided to start working with service members, my business was maybe 5% VA. Now it's almost 85% VA and a non-VA market. I'm outside of Boston, you guys. We don't have a lot of active bases. I talk funny. And, I've built this business by turning my mindset around from not a salesperson trying to get a unit or put my name on a wall, but I'm a benefit administrator putting more heroes in more homes. And I'm telling you, if you change the way you think about how you approach this particular part of being a mortgage professional, you are going to get better. You are going to create relationships, not transactions. You're going to be able to change lives, okay? Not just get paychecks. It's insanely rewarding. And when you think about the fact that only 14% of all veterans in the US use their VA benefit, 7.5% in Massachusetts, the opportunity to change lives, it's there right in front of you. And the mentors at this summit, Mortgage Coach, all the other mortgage professionals in the US that specialize in VA, we share ideas all the time. We all have the ability to do more for our men and women that have given so much. And I've worked with them all, you guys. I've worked with active duty. I've worked with Gold Star. I've worked with surviving spouse. I've worked with veterans, Korean War, you name it. I've worked with them all. And the tools that we have here today at our summit and the tools that we have through Mortgage Coach creates the most incredible, financially transparent abilities to help heroes with what they're trying to do, buy or refinance. And it's made a huge difference in my life when I changed my way of thinking. So take that salesperson hat, throw it out when you're working with a veteran, and put on your benefit administrator hat, and then get into the nitty gritty. Ask all the right questions, you guys. Residual income, dependents, things like that, and do a great job and use the tools that we have here to do right, to make a difference in that hero's life. You know, I'll tell you, it changed the way I think. So go out there, you guys, use our tools, talk to your mentors, talk to the people that are here, and go out there and change heroes' lives and make it a pledge to put more veterans in more homes. That's our mission.
So guys, so everyone watching this, you know, there's idea one. You want to get more veteran loans, change the way you think. He's not thinking like a loan officer. He's not thinking like a salesperson. He's thinking like a benefits administrator. And if you change the way you think, and I love this, put more heroes into homes. And it really is a noble calling, a noble opportunity. So there's one idea and one takeaway from that. What did you think about that? Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the first time you saw it or you saw it during the show.
That was the first time I saw it. I've been wanting to spin on my list to do for the last week or so here. But I love his perspective of benefits administrator. It goes back to what I'd said earlier before we watched his clip, in that as a loan officer, sometimes you have to learn things that are beyond what you would normally be taught. Learning about how VA disability benefits work, learning who the contacts are in your state, learning what someone like a veteran service officer is, learning how those kind of contacts can change a veteran's life become very important when you're talking to that veteran who has been struggling with homeownership because of a PTSD issue or an issue that's related to them maybe struggling a little bit to save funds or to build stability in their community. If we're able to bridge the gap and get them in the right place, sometimes it's quite simply introducing them to somebody at the VA who can help. Sometimes it's a little bit more complex, but ultimately it's not our job to do those things. But if we know where to send them, how to help, and how to get them accurate information, we can make a drastic difference. I'm really bad at public stats. Rick's probably way better at quoting percentages of veterans and things of that nature. But I know for a fact that when a veteran becomes a homeowner, the PTSD and suicide rates go way down. When a veteran actually does a great analysis and sits down with a qualified advisor, like you've been saying, Dave, they find new ways to manage their debt and build wealth, and they become way more successful. And in many cases, they turn around and help their brothers and other veterans do the same thing. So it's a force of change that goes the right direction. What I've found, since I kind of went down a similar path to Rick, in my case, it took many more years to me to figure it out. I didn't do it right in the beginning of my career, but what I found is that those veterans were my most loyal clients, most appreciative, and in most cases, the easiest to work with, even if they didn't fit in the credit or loan box immediately, because they took directions, they listened, they tried to do what we were asking them to do to make their transaction work. So it's a very fulfilling segment of the industry ones that it's personally excited me again. I went for many years working in Metro Detroit, and as much as I love my engineers and accountants, they drive me nuts. And yes, mortgage coach and tools like that certainly help, but they still drive me nuts. I have to make extra spreadsheets for them because I forgot one X factor. I don't even know. But at the end of the day, yes, I have veteran engineer clients that do the same thing, but they tend to be more loyal. They come back over time. They tend to refer more. And they're just a great segment of the population to work with. And our heroes deserve it. So I know you had asked a little bit about the things that we're doing.
Well, yeah, before you give, like, let's say some ideas, I want to know, because you're doing a workshop later this month or early next month. You also have a great Facebook group, which, you know, I think loan officers, if they're not aware of it, they should be aware of it. They should be active in it, because you just got a lot of integrity and you have a lot of great conversations taking place over there. So tell everyone how they can get trained, get smarter at serving veterans and heroes.
Sure. So you had mentioned the Mortgage Loan Officer Network. That's the community that I've sort of created, but I'm one of the admins in there. There's a handful of other good folks there. TJ Barker.
You didn't sort of create it. You're one of the co-founders. There's a crew. Like you're not the only one, but
there's a crew. Yep.
But you are a founder of that.
Yep. And then, you know, our passion for serving vets kind of spun off into a different brand that was called Military Mortgage Boot Camp. We've evolved that brand into something called Veteran Mortgage Advisor, run by the Veteran Lending Council that I mentioned before, veteranmortgageadvisor.com. You know, that particular program, we talk a lot about these things that you mentioned, Dave, about how to be better at serving veterans. And we've realized we have to kind of train LOs on the full spectrum. We got to talk about some of the benefits, some of the surviving spouse, the kind of things Rick was mentioning. We also have to train them how to do things that they oftentimes say aren't their job, like how to approve a condo, or how to just be better at teaching classes so that you can get in front of your agent partners. In some cases, it's like, how do I get a CRM in place? I mean, I try not to cross over into other coaches' realms, but I find that when I get the students excited about helping vets, they come back to, well, I'm struggling to get these vets to pull the trigger. And that's where I'd say, well, you need to talk to Dave because your presentations suck. But at the end of the day, getting them excited and passionate about helping vets is a great way to get LOs, especially the younger LOs who haven't learned a lot of the basics, on the right path to building a successful career with a strong foundation. So we do teach a lot of referral-based tactics. Teach the realtors, stay in touch with your past clients.
So there's a lot of marketing, selling and marketing training around helping veterans.
Around it, yes. But we also teach them how to do the classes. You know, we show them what the classes look like. And our classes that we're teaching to loan officers and realtors are basically, I call it solve the problem method, where we say, well, here's the misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is that the VA appraisals stink. So let's go learn this section in the 26.7. Let's dive into this. What are they saying stinks? Is it this chapter over here where we're talking about minimum property requirements? Is it reconsideration of value? So we got to teach all that stuff. We got to kind of cross the line and say, okay, now we're teaching VA guidelines. Now we're going to teach you how to talk to realtors. Now we're going to teach you how to work with the appraisers and the regional loan center construction and valuation division. So it's a lot of skills that go together. And yeah, for sure, it's a strong foundation of understanding the VA 26.7. Does that kind of make sense?
It does. So when is your next training? What does it cost? Where is it at? Like, how's
our veteran mortgage?
Is it in person?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So our Veteran Mortgage Advisor program is online. You can find our Veteran Lending Council page and message us, or go to veteranmortgageadvisor.com and enter your info. We'll explain how it works. It's an online program. It's a $6.99 program. It's like a lifetime membership. Our event is meant to complement the training, and we'll record the videos. We'll add them back to the training course for people who become members. It's not intended to be a live event. It's a web event. It's an interactive event, but we record some of the sections as a bonus for folks who couldn't make it. That event, we will go through some of the basic training that we feel is really important. Like I said, our very important classes that we teach to veterans and realtors, we go through those at every single event. We talk about the most important talking points. Appraisals are huge topics, so we definitely teach that to realtors. We also teach the realtors about the opportunity and how to understand what questions to ask veterans how to know enough about entitlement to see an opportunity when you run across it, how to know the disability benefits in your state and how to help veterans connect. Those are the kind of things that we teach every single time we teach a real estate or lender class. So we'll do that at the event, but we also have segments where we'll try to add value to the folks who have been through our programs in the past and say, well, Mike, I don't need more basic training. I'm really good at all this 26/7 stuff. I say, cool. We're going to bring in some different guests and different speakers and try to help you evolve your career. So like, for example, at this event, I've got Jody from the Divorce Association. She's putting a special presentation together for us on how to understand the specific divorce needs in community property states and in areas, that have a lot of military bases, some of the different accounts that we run into, how they're split up in divorces and how all this plays into the VA loan. So kind of complex topics that we see people asking about all the time. We said, man, we need to add this kind of stuff to our trainings and programs and events. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff. We're trying to teach people how to have the skills, how to be better presenters, how to build their own personal brand as somebody who is the VA guy or gal in their market.
Right on. And so what the date again is?
That event is a November 3rd, 4th, and 5th event. Thursday night meet and greet, Saturday all day, Friday all day, and then Saturday for like half the day. I'll go back in the mortgage coach meeting.
How much? How much is
that
it?
event is $350 if they're not a member of our program. If they're a member, it's only $199.
Got it. And how many people will you have the capacity to teach in one sitting?
Capacity for 100. We're over 60 right now with a bunch of maybes. So we're probably 2/3 full with 3 or 4 weeks to go.
Got it. So if you're watching this and you want to hang out, sounds like there's going to definitely be 100 mortgage professionals that are all have a common theme that want to help heroes get homes. We want to be experts at that. If that sounds interesting to you, there'll be a link down below. Michael will put that in down below. Let me see if there's any questions or comments. So if you're watching this live, we got a half dozen of you watching it live right now. Go ahead and put any questions you have in comments. And if you're watching this in our YouTube channel and you have a question, or you want me to do more content, more interviews on this topic, please let me know. Like, what questions do you have? I definitely want to make sure that when we're doing the Mortgage Coach mission and we're helping modernize the mortgage industry, we're helping veterans. And again, as Mr. Mortgage Coach, I think if someone is looking at their benefits, they should definitely see options so they can compare their VA versus other options. They should definitely see the cost over time. I do believe, especially when it comes to veterans, they may not be as interested in what's going to happen in 5 years or 10 years. They might be interested in, like, what's 1 year and 2 years look like, because they're concerned that, hey, I'm going to move. If I buy this house, I'm going to be landlocked and not be able to sell it. How much equity will I have? So lots of times veterans are looking at a total cost analysis and they're saying 2 years and 5 years. And I just want to make sure that every time a veteran gets into mortgage debt and they're using their VA benefit, they're getting options and they're seeing the cost over time. So Michael, anything else before we wrap this up you want to make sure everybody knows?
I want to make sure that everyone knows, what you just said, Dave, that it's very important for us to understand, like Rick said, the VA benefits, but also all their options so that they can make an informed choice. I mean, we know the whole industry is aligned behind the concept of giving them a choice and educating them. But on the streets, we always hear stories about a veteran who wasn't able to use their VA benefits because they were told they couldn't because the LO didn't know the program or didn't do the math or didn't understand entitlement or what have you. So, I found it's a little bit hard to get the LOs excited about some of those topics until they run into a challenge or a problem. So I've always found that if we tell the LOs, look, we're going to help you build your business by attracting more veterans and by having agents think of you as the VA person, if that's our special power, awesome. But at the end of the day, we're going to sit you down and make sure you know how these benefits work and make sure you know the guidelines, because that's the foundation. Before you can talk intelligently or teach a class, you got to know this stuff like the back of your hand. So it's very congruent with what the other folks are doing in the industry. I love what Rick's doing. I love some of the other classes that are out there. And I would encourage an LO, whether you're part of what we do or not, to just take part in standing up and being better for vets. Slow down a little bit, learn from those around you. watch what's going on in the social media groups, and find a way to help veterans get as much advice as possible, build wealth, manage debt, turn those properties into rentals if they need to, whatever it is. Just we're here, we're big fans, and if there's anything I can do to help, that's what we do. So,
Well, my friend, I appreciate your time. Thanks for jumping into the Mortgage Coach channel, doing this live and creating something in our YouTube channel. I really appreciate you, brother. And thanks for always promoting some of our most important things in your group. I always appreciate it.
Always. Thank you, sir.
Take care, my brother.
You too.